until this threat is over. Again, this is a look at the warning. The warning is in the red box here, and it covers really central and northern portions of Union Parish. These storms, they've been moving about 40 to 50 miles per hour, and we've seen some severe storms move across portions of Union County at this hour. So we've been tracking this line really for the last 30 minutes to an hour or so, and these signs of rotation have just recently started to show up. So again, we're looking at an area also southeast of Dubach as well. That may be another storm that's starting to rotate just a little bit, but there are at least 3 areas of concern. The 2 main ones are in the tornado warning that covers portions of Union Parish at this hour. So again, if you're located east of Bernice or west of Farmerville, we're dealing with the threat for dangerous weather moving through your area. Places like Marion, you are technically in that tornado warning, so you need to take your precautions now because we are talking about the threat for a possible tornado. When we look at what else is going on across the region, we only have really that tornado warning and then also a severe thunderstorm warning that covers pretty much the same area. So we're tracking a line of intense storms starting to move across northern portions of Louisiana. Fortunately, outside of that, we don't have any more alerts in the area, but there is a risk for more tornadic activity potentially as we head throughout the next few hours. So again, this is our SPC outlook. We use this to gauge how active the weather may be for our region. We're looking at an enhanced risk, so that means numerous severe storms are likely, damaging wind, hail, and even the threat for tornadoes possible as well. And in terms of timing, now through really tonight, wrapping up into the overnight hours Sunday, damaging wind, hail, tornadoes, flooding, all threats for today. And we could potentially see some power outages and other issues across our region. As we talk about what's happening on the Futurecast, again, this active weather will continue to push across our region. This is a look at 9 p.m. We're still talking about dangerous weather sweeping across the area. And outside of a stray shower or storm as we head into tomorrow morning, fortunately, things will start to improve. So as we talk again about what's happening with this warning, we do want to let you know we are on air because there is a tornado warning, and it is located right now in western and northern and central portions of Union Parish. If you're west of Farmerville, you're in that alert. I'll zoom in a little bit more just to point out a few more locations. Again, Bernice, technically you are in the warning, but the storms themselves are currently moving pretty much right between an area from Dubach up to Bernice over to Farmerville, pushing to the north and east. So I do want to bring in my colleague, meteorologist Abby Ezell, to talk more about what's happening. Abby?
Hey Marcus, well, I've been watching this storm and it's continuing to show signs of rotation. We're actually watching about 3 areas of rotation within this storm, so I am going to pull that up and show you what we're watching. Right here near Farmerville, that's one area of rotation, and then we've got this area of rotation just beginning to enter that tornado warned area in between Lincoln and Union parishes at this time near Louisiana Highway 167, and then we also have another area of rotation just towards the north of Farmerville between Highway 275 and Louisiana Highway 33. So this is a track I put out. It is moving to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. The track is showing that KNOE will be impacted by 1:20 p.m., Marion 1:33, and then we're talking about Venice at 1:55, Meridian at 1:59, and then Crossett, Arkansas at 2:05 if the storm holds together. Now we are only going to see this storm issued until 1:45 p.m. right now, but once again it could stay together for a little bit longer than 1:45, and we could have this warning extended. Now this is a look at the current Doppler radar. This is showing that we do have a line of showers and thunderstorms stretching across portions of Louisiana and into Texas and Arkansas. We're continuing to watch this activity just off towards our west. That will continue to progress eastward as we head throughout the remainder of the night, and then we could see the possibility of a few more warnings being issued here or there for the remainder of the night as we continue to see that line move in. Now, Marcus, do you have any updates for us?
Well, I just want to talk again about what we're dealing with. No additional new updates, but we are tracking a couple of areas of rotation, a few of which have led to that tornado warning. So when we look at our velocity map, this lets us pick up on which way the winds are blowing in the atmosphere, also how fast the winds are blowing in the atmosphere. And we're noticing a couple of areas where we have some rotation. Again, one area well north of Farmerville, another area now just west of Farmerville. It's starting to get a little more organized just west of Farmerville. You see more of a contrasting colors next to each other. That's a sign of rotation in the atmosphere. And then we're also noticing potentially another area just southwest of Farmerville. So I think if you're in Farmerville, you really do need to take your precautions as well, as this line will eventually push into your region. But we're dealing with a couple of areas of rotation at the moment, and that's why we're breaking into your programming. When we look at that warning that's out there, pretty much it goes from the border of Union Parish and Lincoln Parish up to the border of Union County and Union Parish. So if you are again located in Farmerville or just west of Farmerville or really north of Farmerville up to the state line, you are all under that tornado warning, and that warning stays with us at least for another 30 minutes or so. You have an update, Abby?
Yeah, I do. They're saying that they are watching 3 circulations right there, like we have been talking about. And the tornado warning is the strongest for the one just outside of the warning, tracking towards the north of Farmerville.
Oh, okay, tracking. So let's see. So we do have one. You said the strongest one is just outside?
Just outside of that warning.
Okay, so I believe we're talking about this one right here, the one that is really just southwest of Farmerville. So we'll be tracking this one. These storms have been tracking to the north and east. So again, Farmerville, definitely take your precautions now. Get to your safe area. While your city is not under a tornado warning, we have one literally just north of the city. And so with these storms tracking in your direction, we want you to be safe now. So definitely take the necessary precautions as this dangerous weather moves through. And again, we have been tracking 3 areas of concern. This one seems to be the one of greatest concern that's now moving out of Lincoln Parish into southern Union Parish. But outside of that, I'm noticing another area of interest just north and west of Farmerville. And then we also have an area of interest well west of Marion, but it's tracking to the north and east. So Farmerville, Marion, even Dubai, you all still need to keep your guard up. You need to take your necessary precautions because we have dangerous weather moving through. Now, I want us to put the map into motion just to show you that this line of intense weather, it has been tracking in our direction since the morning hours, and it's producing a lot of rain. They have been dealing with flash flooding concerns across the Texarkana area over the last 12 hours or so. And now that activity is continuing to push to the east. So again, we have this one tornado warning, and we want you to take it very seriously. But if we follow the tracks of how these storms are moving, a lot of this activity will likely push off into South Arkansas. So if you are in Ashley County, this is an early heads up. Expect that severe weather to be impacting you within the next hour or so. And we have dangerous storms not too far away pushing in your direction. But that warning that we have, it stays active at least through 1:45. When we look farther to the south and west, we're noticing storm activity starting to develop and even move toward the Shreveport area. But fortunately, a lot of those storms haven't been severe. So we'll have to watch and see how things play out. If you're located across eastern parts of our viewing area, you still have fairly quiet weather. We haven't seen a tremendous amount of individual cells developing ahead of this main line that's pushing in our direction. But again, we want everyone to keep their guard up, and we'll have rain and storm chances really through the rest of the afternoon and even through the evening, wrapping up as we head into tomorrow morning. But I do want to recap again what we're talking about. We have this tornado warning. That's why we're on air. And we're looking at this warning staying active at least through 1:45 p.m. So we have another 30 minutes or so of this alert. And we don't have any confirmed tornadoes, but according to the National Weather Service, they are noticing, they're tracking areas of rotation. Again, I'm noticing one just north and west of Farmerville. That definitely is something that is catching my eye, but also what is located just south and west of Farmerville as well. Again, all of this activity tracking to the north and east. So Farmerville, definitely take your precautions. Marion, take your precautions. And anyone located in northern or central portions of Union Parish, you really do want to take the necessary precautions to stay safe as we have dangerous storms that are rotating, moving across the area. I do want to show you what's happening on the Futurecast as we get to that, just to point out that, again, we are talking about activity being with us over the next several hours. This is a look at 5 p.m. We still could have potentially some heavy storms pushing in from the west, and that activity will continue to push across our region. This is 9 p.m. Again, active weather still moving across the area, but you'll notice a big temperature difference, much cooler in Shreveport. That's the colder air behind the front that's pushing through. And once that colder air starts to take over, our severe weather chances will drop down. But this is a look at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. We're still talking about potentially some rain showers out there. But by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, the good news, we may likely only see temperatures in the mid and upper 50s in some areas, low 60s possible, but the weather will be a lot quieter. But right now, unfortunately, we're dealing with the storm threat. So I want to send it back to Abby for more.
Okay, well, Marcus, I have been taking a look at these areas of rotation we have been mentioning. We've been seeing about 3 areas of rotation of concern within this tornado warning, but as of now, I'm really only beginning to notice 2. It looks like that third one, it may have weakened ever so slightly as it continued to push off towards the north and the east. So this is what we're looking at right now. The strongest area of rotation is just towards the north of Farmville, and then we also have another area of rotation in between Louisiana Highway 33 and 275 on the very edge of that tornado warning. Now that tornado warning is going to cross the state line like Marcus mentioned earlier, likely impacting portions of Ashley County in the next couple of minutes or over the next hour or so, I should say. So if you are in Ashley County, be prepared that the strong storm is going to likely impact your area in the coming minutes. But once again, if you are located near Farmville, I want you in your safe place right now as we are continuing to track out this storm for you. So this is a track of the storm going forward. We're talking about places like Quigley at 1:37 p.m., Marion at 1:44 p.m., and then we're going to Hutting at 1:57, Venice at 2:07 p.m., and then Meridian at 2:11 p.m. And once again, we are watching this area of rotation within this tornado warned storm just towards the north and the west of Farmville. This is continuing to track off towards the north and the east. It will likely cross the state line within the next little bit. So be on the lookout that a strong storm is coming your way if you are in portions of southern Arkansas or even if you're in portions of Union Parish. I'm going to turn things back over to Marcus. Marcus, what are you noticing with this area of rotation?
Well, I wanted to talk about that because we have 2 areas that we're watching, and one of the metrics that we use to figure out how fast the winds may be spinning in these storms is looking at something we call gate-to-gate shear. So gate-to-gate shear is really the speed that we can get from looking at one pixel to the next. And we've seen gate-to-gate shear anywhere from 62 miles per hour with one storm to about 74 miles per hour with the second storm that now is just west of Farmville. So we are noticing a storm that's moving fairly quickly, and it is showing strong signs of rotation. So again, if you are in Farmville, this is your time to take precautions. These storms have been tracking to the north and east. It looks like the storm will pass very close to Farmville, so we want you to keep your guard up. And then we also notice the storm system that is spinning well north of Farmville, but it is pushing to the north and east. Marion, for instance, you are in this tornado warning, so we want you to take your precautions as well. But these storms, they're showing signs of rotation, and that's enough to lead to the tornado warnings that we're dealing with. But again, if you are in Farmville, if you're just west of town, I need you in your safe area now because we have this dangerous storm that is currently spinning and is pushing close to the region. I want to put the map into motion too, just to show you the storm motion. Again, a lot of these storms have been tracking from the southwest to the north and east, but they're moving generally east with the intense line of showers and thunderstorms that are now moving mainly across portions of South Arkansas. But this is the area of interest right now in our viewing area. If you're in Monroe, you're not in a tornado warning. If you're farther south and east, you're not in a tornado warning. But the concern for severe weather right now across the heart of Union Parish. So we really want you to take all the necessary precautions and keep your guard up. As we talk about the warning that is still out there, I want to get you back to that information just in case you were concerned with how long this warning will be in place. Again, we're talking about this tornado warning being active at least for another 20 to 25 minutes or so, but it all depends on how strong these storms stay as we head really over the next several minutes, and that'll let us know if the National Weather Service will extend this warning as these storms continue to push east. But again, if you are in Farmerville, you are technically right there on the boundary of that tornado warning, and these storms are pushing east and north and east. So we do want you to, again, take all the necessary precautions. We're dealing with storms that are showing signs of rotation. When we look at that rotation one more time, again, it is very apparent for the most part, just west of Farmerville. You really see the contrasting colors. That change in color shows rotation, and so that's what we're dealing with. And we're still dealing with signs of rotation just north of the city as well. And sometimes when these storms are pushing into the region, you have thunderstorms interacting with each other. As they interact, that may potentially lead to winds creating rotation. And so that may be a little bit of what we're having here, especially because we've had multiple signs of rotation along this line of severe weather. But again, we're definitely noticing a strong, or at least signs of rotation, enough where we can get a tornado warning issued. So 2 areas that we're mainly watching, one north of Farmerville, the next one now more or less starting to push very close to Farmerville. It's currently just west of Farmerville, but the center of it should track north and east, or it should track to the north and west of Farmerville. So it shouldn't pass directly over Farmerville, but it is very close. So we want you to take all the necessary precautions and know that this stormy weather will continue to push to the north and east. Again, as we talk about that warning that's out there, it stays active for another 20-25 minutes or so. And so we will continue to follow this threat, but we definitely have dangerous weather moving through. And if you're farther south and east, for instance, if you're in Monroe, get ready for heavier rain showers and thunderstorms to start to push into your region, but those storms are not warned just yet. I want to send it back to Abby.
Okay, well, Marcus, I have been watching this tornado warned storm in portions of Union Parish, and I am beginning to notice that this storm, where we're watching that main area of rotation, is showing signs of wrapping around itself, kind of forming what looks to be a hook, which is kind of similar to what a tornado signature looks like for the most part on radar. So I am beginning to notice that right there, and I did want to show you that's where we're watching for that main area of rotation. Like Marcus has been mentioning, and just off towards the north and the west of Farmerville near Louisiana Highway 2. That's where we're watching for that sign of rotation, where those yellows and those red colors are coming together. And then another sign of rotation right here just off towards the north of Farmerville near Louisiana Highway 549. That's another area of rotation right there. And like Marcus said, these thunderstorms are likely beginning to come together as they push off towards the north and the east at about 40 miles per hour. So this is a track of what we can expect in the next couple of minutes. We're expecting Quigley at 1:37 p.m., Marion at 1:44 p.m., and then we're going to Hutting at 1:57, and then 2:07 for Venice and 2:11 for Meridian. I did want to bring you to the alerts, though, that we do have out there for the rest of the night. We do have a tornado watch in effect for most of our western parishes and counties until 7 p.m. tonight, as this line of very strong storms continues to enter our area. But I'm going to go ahead and turn things back over to Marcus. Marcus, what have you been seeing?
Well, I want to talk about the warning because they have decreased the size of that warning. Now it's north of Farmerville, but it covers really just the northern portion of Union Parish. So if you are south of Farmerville, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning, but you're not under a tornado warning. So still strong storms out there, but it looks like the threat is now shifting into South Arkansas. So again, if you're north of Farmerville, if you're in Marion, for instance, you are still under that tornado warning. So we want you to keep your guard up and know that threatening weather is continuing to push to the north and east. When we look at where we're seeing signs of rotation, we're noticing that's now mainly north of Farmerville. So whatever was west of Farmerville, that has more or less weakened with the activity. So that's definitely a good sign or a good thing. But now the main area of rotation is north of Farmerville. Again, we don't have a confirmed tornado. We haven't had any reports of any damage or anything just yet. Again, this warning was just recently issued, but this activity is continuing to push to the north and east. And I know not too long ago, Marion dealt with a tornado that passed nearby their region earlier this year. Again, we're talking about yet another dangerous storm starting to push in their direction. These storms are tracking to the north and east, but they may pass just close enough to bring some impacts. But again, the size of that tornado warning has dropped down just a little bit, is now focused mainly across north central portions of Union Parish. Now, when we look at what else is going on, we don't have any storms that are showing signs of strengthening or more or less any severe warnings to our west. Most of the action right now stretches, it covers Union Parish. Even that severe thunderstorm warning has just decreased in size. So all of the focus is really across north central portions of Union Parish. So if you are in that area, if you're in Marion, if you live near Marion, if you're west of Marion, again, the threat for dangerous weather is definitely there. If you're north of Farmerville, that threat for dangerous weather is definitely there as well. And when we look at what's on the way, we're starting to see some heavier showers and thunderstorms develop ahead of that main line. So again, central portions of Ouachita Parish, northern portions of Ouachita Parish, we're starting to get heavy rain and thunderstorm activity pushing in. But the worst weather by far is really from Union Parish up and across South Arkansas and stretching toward the Memphis area. And when we take a wider view, again, we're looking at more alerts up toward Memphis, but for our viewing area, we just have the severe thunderstorm warning and also that tornado warning that stays active. So again, the threat for severe weather definitely there today. This is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for severe weather. All across the Arkansas, we'll be dealing with storms. In terms of timing, now really into Sunday morning, but the bulk of the activity over the next 6 to about 10 hours or so. So pretty much through 10 p.m. or midnight, we'll be dealing with some of the worst weather. Threats include damaging wind, hail, the possibility of tornadoes and flooding. So these will bring a lot of impacts to our region, and we can see impacts such as power outages, flooded roads, and definitely tough travel. As we look ahead to the futurecast one more time, again, this stormy weather is forecast to continue to track across our region. We can even see potentially more severe weather as we head toward 8 or 9 p.m. So while we're dealing with at least one tornado warning now, the threat for more possible warnings from storms that could develop definitely there through the rest of the day. And I mentioned things wrapping up as we head into Sunday. Even overnight, we could have a potent storm or two pushing through, but I think at this point, when temperatures are down into the mid 50s with that colder air moving in, our severe weather chances will definitely start to lower. And as we look ahead to Sunday morning, outside of a stray shower or two, the worst of the weather should be out of the area. This is a look at how much rain could fall from now into Sunday morning. Some of the heaviest rain located across our parishes, such as East and West Carroll parishes, Morehouse Parish, that is, and then also across parts of Ashley County and South Arkansas. But we can see heavier pockets of rain also back across Ouachita Parish as well. So while we're talking about a tornado threat right now, we have additional threats that'll definitely be with us over the next several hours. And so we want you to keep your guard up. Even if there's not a warning, know that water will be an issue for us as we head throughout the day. So as we go back to the warning one more time, just to recap, that warning stays active, stays with us at least through 1:45 p.m. So we have about 15 minutes more of that alert, but it covers northern portions of Union Parish at this hour. And again, we don't have a confirmed tornado, but we are seeing a few more impacts as well. I want to send it back to Abby for a little bit more.
Okay, hi Marcus. Well, we are beginning to track that tornado warned storm into portions of Union Parish at this time. Well, I am beginning to notice that our hail track is picking up about pea-sized hail falling near Louisiana Highway 2 at this time. Fairly small hail at this time, but once again, that's where we're watching for that main area of rotation. So I want to go ahead and show you that. That's right here just towards the north and now east of Farmerville, moving closer to Louisiana Highway 33 and between Highway 275 right now, and continuing to track off towards the north and the east at 40 miles per hour. This will likely impact portions of Ashley County within the next couple of minutes as it continues to track off towards the north and the east. Like Marcus mentioned before, we did notice that over the last couple of minutes they have shrunk that warning box in size just a little bit, as this storm is a little bit more confined to just north of Farmerville. So if you are located in that warning box right there, you want to be in your safe place right now, away from windows and in the lowest level of your home. First, I did want to turn it back over to Marcus for a little bit more though. What are you noticing with this storm?
Well, with this storm, I'm noticing that the winds are potentially getting a little weaker. So that may be a sign that the storm itself is weakening. Earlier, we saw gate-to-gate shear at about 60, if not 70 miles per hour or so with a couple of the rotating storms moving through Union Parish. Now we're looking at a gate-to-gate shear closer to 40, if not 50 miles per hour. And that's a sign that the storm itself may be weakening. So that may be good news for us. But at the moment, we still have this area of rotation showing up north of Farmerville now. And again, this is continuing to track to the north and east. So as long as there's rotation and as long as we have rotation strong enough, we will keep this threat. We will still be in the threat for tornadic weather. And again, we'll still likely have that warning that's out there. And again, that warning covers areas just north of Farmerville. So if you are in Marion, for instance, you are in that tornado warning. So this is your time to take the necessary precautions to get away from windows, to get away from exterior walls, to put as many walls between you and the outside world. All of that will help keep you safe when storms turn tornadic and begins to threaten the region. And we have an updated scan, and now it's showing some of the strongest wind pushing towards Marion as we speak. So really, again, Marion, this is your time to take the necessary precautions and get inside and stay inside. This is not the time to go outside and view what's going on. I do want to ask our control room if they could pull up our tower cam just to mention the heavier rain that's now pushing into Monroe. That's the wet weather that we've been tracking. That's ahead of that's really south of that main line that's pushing across Union Parish at this hour. But if you are in Monroe and you see us on TV and you're wondering what our threats are right now, we don't have any severe weather concerns across Monroe or for any areas farther to the south and east at the moment. But the threat for severe weather definitely is there. We don't have any warnings out there for Monroe or any area in Ouachita Parish. But as we look to the north, we're still tracking a warning that's out there. So let's talk again about that warning. It stays active for another 10 minutes or so across our region. The storm itself starting to decrease in size. Again, that's a sign that the storm is continuing to weaken, but it is forecast to push into South Arkansas. So if you're in La Powell, if you're in Crossett, this is an early heads up. Keep your guard up as this threatening storm is pushing in your direction. But signs are pointing to the storm itself weakening, and that's definitely a good thing. But we are dealing with more wet weather pushing across the area. Again, I showed you that tower cam. I want to show you again what's happening on radar. And there's yet another tornado warning, but that warning is outside of our viewing area. So if you have any family or friends just north of Ashley County, you want to give them a heads up. They're dealing with another tornado warning for them. But for us, we still have this main tornado warning that has decreased in size. And the storm itself looks like it's continuing to weaken. So we'll have to see how things play out over the next few minutes. But the activity is definitely there. The energy is definitely there in the atmosphere to bring us more severe weather. I want to send it over to Abby for a little bit more.
Okay, well, Marcus, I did just put a track on this storm. It is moving off towards the north and the east at about 40 miles per hour. We're expecting places like Sadie to be hit at 1:38 p.m., 1:45 for Hudding, Crossett at 2:07 p.m., and then North Crossett at 2:11, Milo 2:20, and then Hamburg at 2:25 p.m. Even if this storm does not hold together, it still will be a fairly strong storm as it begins to cross the state line. I am noticing what Marcus is noticing here, that the rotation is weakening ever so slightly. So I am going to bring that up and show you what we're watching. We're watching this area of rotation just towards the east of Louisiana Highway 33, continuing to track off towards the north and the east. It is almost to the Louisiana-Arkansas state line. So once again, if you are in portions of southern Arkansas, you'll want to be in your safe place to get ready for this strong storm to impact you within the next 10 minutes or so as it continues to track off towards the north and the east. I did want to take a wider view real quick and show you what's going on with Doppler radar right now. We are watching this main line of showers and thunderstorms continuing to track off towards the north and the east across portions of southern Arkansas at this time. And then we have another line of a strong storm stretched across portions of the arc limits. This is what's impacting the city of Monroe at this time, where we're seeing those heavier downpours across our region right now, with more activity just off towards our west that will continue to push in as we head throughout the remainder of the day. Now, Marcus, what are you beginning to notice?
Again, we're noticing similar things. The storm system that's currently tornado warned now pushing towards South Arkansas, but it has weakened in strength. So that's definitely good news there. But we still have a rotating storm, so we want you to keep your guard up. Some of the heaviest rain is now falling just west and north of Marion at this hour. So if you are in that area, again, you're noticing the heavy downpours and you have a rotating storm moving across your area. For areas farther to the north, like La Pile, for instance, you're not in that tornado warning, but you're connected to the largest storm system that's moving through, and it's producing a lot of lightning and heavy rain. And then for Crossit, we're dealing with heavier pockets of wet weather moving across your area as well, and that moisture stretching south. Places like Sterlington dealing with heavy thunderstorms pushing through the area. Now, when we look at what's happening with the velocity, with the rotation, with the storm, again, we're noticing at least strong wind now showing up. The rotation area not as strong as it once was. So that may be a sign that, again, the storm is continuing to weaken. At the same time, though, this storm system is moving farther and farther away from our radar, which is located in Shreveport. And so we may be picking up on higher level winds in the atmosphere that may not be rotating as much as what's happening at the surface. So again, keep your guard up. We have that warning out there because the storm has shown a history of rotating. And again, when we look at what's happening with the rotation, it's still present. When we look at what's going on, again, there's another tornado warning just outside the viewing area, but for us, we're dealing with just one tornado warning that'll be with us for a few more minutes. Fortunately, the signs of rotation have weakened a lot, so that's good. But we do have to keep an eye to what's happening ahead of that activity. Again, we have some heavier pockets of rain that just moved through Monroe, and that activity is now impacting places like Sterlington, and eventually Bastrop. You'll get in on some of that activity. And as we look farther to the south and east, things have been fairly quiet along the Mississippi River for our Mississippi River parishes, but we'll be tracking more storms pushing in our direction. And we'll be watching in particular for what happens across eastern portions of Texas, because that activity will eventually push into our region with the larger storm system that will be pushing through. So again, the threat for severe weather definitely there for us for today. Timing from now through really Sunday morning, the bulk of the activity from now through midnight. And as we look ahead to what's on the way, potentially stronger storms by the time we get to 8 or 9 p.m. And then eventually, as we head into the 4 a.m. hour on Sunday, we'll be wrapping things up and we'll start to see improving weather. But we will be noticeably cooler. You know, we've been fairly warm. We've set temperature records this week across the RCLMS. By the time we get to Sunday, we'll be cooler. And we'll stay cool as we head into next week. But fortunately, it looks like the weather next week will be fairly pleasant. So you have a lot to look forward to. If you're ready to just relax from all the concern of severe weather, you'll be able to do just that as we head into next week. I want to send it back to meteorologist Abby Ezell.
Hi, Marcus. I am watching the storm continuing to track out of Louisiana and into portions of Arkansas at this time. This storm is really not showing much in the way of rotation right now. The strongest winds right now are located just towards the north and the east of Louisiana Highway 33. Actually, it's moved a little bit further just outside of the Shreveport radar right now, likely crossing the Louisiana-Arkansas border right now as the storm continues to track off towards the north and the east. We did just get a new radar scan in right there, but I did want to bring you to the alerts that we have out there for the remainder of the day. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 7 p.m. tonight for all of our western parishes and counties. So we possibly could see some more activity as we head throughout the remainder of the night. We do still have about 5 minutes left with this active tornado warning in effect for portions of Union Parish. It's really crossed into portions of Arkansas right now, making its way into portions of Ashley County at this time. I did want to bring you back to the radar, and we do have once again about 5 minutes left on that tornado warning. If they don't extend that warning further towards the north and the east, this still will be a fairly strong storm moving into portions of Ashley County. Now for the rest of the area, we are watching this main line of showers and thunderstorms trail in to some of our western parishes at this time, and then we have another line of showers and thunderstorms just off towards the east of that. That's continuing to work its way off towards the north and the east, and we'll continue to see some heavier showers just ahead of that main line. Marcus, what are you beginning to notice?
Well, again, I'm noticing that the storm itself, like you mentioned, is pushing into South Arkansas. So if you are Again, in Farmerville, you're okay right now. Really no issues for you at the moment, just approaching thunderstorms from the west. If you're in Marion, again, you're still under that tornado warning, so you do need to keep your guard up. But the most active part of the storm is now pushing into South Arkansas, and they have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for just eastern portions of Union County in South Arkansas. So that includes places like the Powell. So you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. You'll likely have heavy rain, lots of lightning, strong gusty wind. And again, we're looking at this storm system still with that tornado warning. They have not extended that tornado warning into South Arkansas. So again, that may be signs that the storm itself is continuing to weaken, but it is something we will continue to watch as we head throughout the next few minutes. Again, as Abby mentioned, that warning goes through 1:45 p.m. So we have just about 3 more minutes of that warning, and it's out there because we had that dangerous storm moving through. But the bulk of the storm is now pushing into South Arkansas, so that is a good thing. And since they haven't extended it yet, that warning at least, that's also a good sign. So we'll have to wait and see what the National Weather Service ultimately does. But again, just to recap, what we've been dealing with, some of the strongest wind now pushing into South Arkansas. And as we look at what else is out there, what potentially could be threatening, we're noticing some stronger storms now pushing across areas south of Shreveport. If that activity continues, it could threaten places like El Dorado down the line. And we're also noticing more showers and storms starting to develop just south of Monroe, south of Interstate 20. So we will have to watch and see how those things progress going forward. But at the moment, I think what we're going to do with the bulk of that storm pushing into South Arkansas, I think what we'll do is get off air right now. We'll send you back to your programming, and if that warning is extended, we'll be back on the air talking more about the threats that are out there. But thank you all for your patience. Thank you for being patient with us as we talk about this threatening weather, and again, potentially expect more cut-ins throughout the day because of the threat for severe weather. But for now, we'll send you back to your regular programming.
This has been a KNOE 8 News Severe Weather Alert.